Hi everyone. So this is a follow-up video to my addiction video, which, received a lot of comments. I think over almost 300, and it did really well for views because I guess YouTube loves drama. And by the way, before I get started, I have new glasses, as you can probably see, and I can see too. So these are for, when I'm at the computer or, close up doing vlogs like this. And then my other pair, so it's kind of a reversal of the two others I had in the past. And these are for distance, when the rare times I'm outside or, driving or whatever. So just day to day, if I'm not at the computer or vlogging. And these are like, they have UV protection because, once again, aging is fun. I have the start of glaucoma. That's hard for me to say. Glaucoma. It's just the starting stages of it, though. So when I first put these on and I stepped outside, I was thinking, I thought they're, supposed to turn into, like sunglasses, but I could still see. It was still, pretty bright and everything. And then I took them off. It's like, oh, they're dark. So it was pretty cool. But right now, I can see myself, but it's, it's blurry. Ugh, that's scary. So yeah. So you'll be seeing these more than the other ones in my videos. And I also wanted to say hello to, I think he was the optometrist at Walmart. If not, he was, in the eyeglass center, and he fitted the glasses for me. He's very nice. I don't know his name. I should have got his name. But he was saying, "You look familiar." And then I ran out of the store because I didn't want him calling the cops. No, he said, "Are you on YouTube?" And I said, "Yes, I am." No, I said, "Yes, I'm Canadian Studmuffin." And then he laughed for some reason. I don't know why people laugh when I say Canadian Studmuffin. And he was just saying, he'd seen some of my videos, and he mentioned the one with Molly when we were out grocery shopping or something. So hello to you, and thanks for watching. And yeah, it's just, it's nice to get recognized. And it doesn't go to my head. I apologize if this is another long video, but I don't know where it's going to go. But unlike the addiction video, I'm not going to break down and cry at the end. So, like I said, I received so much feedback on that video, and hearing other people's stories about struggling. My struggle, in case you haven't seen the video, you should watch it before you watch this, is, and I don't know if I was addicted to marijuana, but I just noticed in the last few months, I was using it more and more at night, not during the day ever. And it just got to the point where I just quit. And I'm lucky, I guess, because I don't miss it at all. I never yearn for it. That's the second time I've said yearn in a video in 19 years of YouTube. Yearn. And, I know it's not a serious drug unlike some, hard drugs or whatever, but still, it can be an addiction, at least for me. And I'm done with it. And I feel much better, except for my chronic pain, of course. But I wanted to address, I just grabbed a handful of comments that mentioned something which, I don't really, first of all, I really appreciate every comment. So just know that. And I'll probably post it here so I don't read it all and bore you. So I'll just read a couple of them. Dancing Bear 86, you were very honest. Yes, thank you. And brave to tell about this. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Beatly Tones Beatles channel. Very honest and brave video, Larry. much respect to you. And then he went on from that. Thank you, Tony. And one more. Keith Rimmer 1028. Hi, Larry. It was very brave of you to speak on air about your difficulties. We all have demons of some sort. And, you know, I was going to say in that video, but I never did. Because I figured some people would say, oh, you're brave. And that's one thing, I don't know. I don't feel I am brave. I'm just telling, you know, I'm honest, of course. I always try and be honest on YouTube when it comes to music and everything. But I'm certainly not brave. Brave is somebody battling, you know, cancer or something serious. I just don't feel I'm brave. But if you think I'm brave, then thank you. But I'm basically a chicken. S-H-I-T. And I was actually surprised with all the comments, you know, because the video, like I said, got quite a few views. That there was really no negativity. Maybe one or two like Canadian Studmuffin with a bunch of laughs, and I replied, yes, I have a sense of humor. I can make fun of myself, right? And somebody else said, hash is much better. And one thing I didn't bring up in the video is, like I said, this smoking the pot at night got worse and worse. I just wanted to get so high that I would want to pass out and hopefully not wake up in the morning. But like I said, I always did wake up. And so, you know, the last few months, I was sometimes putting, and by the way, marijuana is legal here in Ontario. Everything I bought was from a government-run store. And also hashish is legal, and I bought that at the government store. You know, it's not something I must be brave to tell this, but I was starting to put little bits of hashish in with the marijuana. Hashish is, I guess, you know, I'm not a drug expert, believe it or not, but I guess you get higher with hash. So I was doing that sometimes the last few months. When you see an edit, it's just because I'm thinking of what to say. I don't want to make this a 30-minute video if it's possible. But I just wanted to tell, you know, those that are interested, that follow my channel, some things about me that you might not know. I think, I don't know. I think I was put on this planet to do what I'm doing, communicating with others. And I love doing it, you know, talking seriously like this, but mainly, you know, talking about music. And I also love making others laugh. I know that I don't think comedy is what it used to be. You don't see the big comedy movies anymore at the theaters. Even the Spinal Tap 2 bombed at the theater. And I do want to make more comedy videos. I have this series, one of my favorites, called Memorial Comedian, which I know that some of my viewers really get a kick out, but not everybody. That's the thing about comedy. Not everybody thinks you're funny, right? No matter what comedian, you know, some people think a comedian is really funny and others think he's not funny. But I do want to do more comedy, more food reviews at some point soon. And yeah, I would like to do at least one more Memorial Comedian video. And the premise of that is I'm at a funeral home doing a memorial, and I'm trying to cheer people up doing stupid jokes, inappropriate jokes. I just find that funny because we've all experienced, memorial services, and they are not fun. So like I said, when I was a young boy, like 4 years old, I remember being in, I've told this story, a few years back, being in front of my mom's dresser with, mirrors on each side. It was really cool, like a 3D thing. And I just remember sitting there and pretending I had a talk show. And yeah, and I was called, I don't know why I called it this, but I called it the Mark Singing Song Show. So there was music even involved in that. But through the years, in public school, I was known kind of as the class clown, but I wasn't always trying to be funny. I would know my spots when to be funny, because I think anybody that thinks they're funny all the time isn't funny, if they can't be normal or, serious. And I love, of course, I love the attention, getting the laughs. I was kind of surprised, the first, the class is laughing at what I said or whatever. And I didn't even pull down my pants. And then in high school, I moved to another area, and I had a couple of close friends that were kind of not the best friends to have. The kind of friends that would like to tease you all the time. And I just lost I definitely, I've struggled with confidence all of my life, believe it or not, especially in high school. And I quit in grade 10. Although, when I was 50 years old, I got my grade 12 diploma at last. Anybody still watching? Believe it or not, I'm really not a talker. I'm a quiet person off camera. Just ask Molly. No, I do talk. Of course, I talk to Molly and we joke around and everything. I definitely communicate with her, my feelings and everything. I'm open. Molly is too. But overall, I'm boring. Believe it or not, I'm a boring person off camera, maybe on camera. And I know that I've heard of people like Tim from The Spark Show, who I met recently. And he was saying he'd like to start a YouTube channel, but, he's scared or whatever. And I've heard that from other people. It's like, there's nothing to it. Just try it. If you're yearning to do a YouTube channel, just like me, I just did it one day. And even from the start, I wasn't shy about doing it. It's something that I just gravitated towards. Like I said, I was meant to do it. And another thing that I struggled with being, just day to day in public, grocery store or whatever, or when I went to Loyalist College, I had a 2-year advertising course that I did with a lot of younger people than me. And like I said, I was kind of quiet and shy. And there would be times that somebody would speak to me. I don't know what it was, but they were just, they're paying attention to me. And I would go all red in the face. I don't know if any, I'm sure there's some people out there that it happens to. And it would be, you'd go redder because you could feel it, right, in your face, and you'd be all red. And so, thinking that while the person's talking to you and they can see that, it's almost like you want to run off. But I haven't experienced that in a few years. And, when I'm out in public now, today at Walmart, talking to the person fitting my glasses who recognized me, I'm not going red in the face when he said, "Oh, you're that guy from YouTube." I just normal. It's like, yeah, thank you, and all that, being nice back. And in grocery stores, I'll say something to someone. Sometimes, depending on the person, they'll... But, I'm just more open now about everything. Enjoy life, people. And, I'm 67 years old, and through the years, you get all of this stuff that builds up in you, good and bad. but, a lot of negativity too. And, it's inside you, and it probably doesn't help with pain and everything. And one thing I didn't say, I don't think this is why I was smoking so much pot, but it's just one little thing, like little things add up to one big thing. And sadly, I have 2 sons, and neither of them has spoken to me in the past 2 years. I don't know why. I think it has something to do with the passing of my stepmom, but they don't know everything. They don't know the whole story about everything, right? And, that is personal, so I won't say anything more. But, it kind of hurts. But at the same time, it's like it's their choice, right? I feel I was a very good father, right? So, it just kind of sucks, right? And, I've had family and friends that, mock me. I say stupid things. I do stupid things. And, at one point, regarding family, I felt like I was the butt of jokes. Oh, that's Larry, right? Because I was the youngest in the family. And that hurts, But I'm got to get over it. And that's why, on YouTube, 19 years on YouTube, I've received all kinds of messages. From the most, "We love you, Larry, you're the greatest," to "I hate you." Truly hate me. They don't even know me. I even had a message yesterday, a comment, "I hate this guy." Oh, well, that doesn't bother me at all. Because, as long as you like yourself, it doesn't matter. I'm a good guy. And most of you know I'm a good guy. And a lot of my viewers are good guys and gals. And we're all in this together. Nobody's better than nobody else. Even, sorry to bring this up again, but meeting, the band Sparks, Ron and Russell Mael, I won't show the picture again. You've seen it enough. But even that, I think in the past, meeting them, I would have been nervous and shaking and maybe go red in the face. I was just as calm as Molly said in a video, I was just as calm as could be. And I didn't treat them any different than any other person, because at the end of the day, they're just people, right? They're even though they are special to me, they're not special. They're just regular men, right? And that's what, where am I going with this? I think I'm done. Hey, look at these glasses. I really do like them. Where are you? Yeah. Let me know in the comment section below if you like these glasses. Like I said, I've been kind of teased and mocked all my life, either online or in person. And I've discarded friends that, I can take a joke. Robert's on my turntable jokes with me. I'm totally fine with that. I can joke back with him. But there's just a point where mocking a person, joking about them, their girly glasses, which Molly helped me pick out, joking about what Molly named the kittens, mocking me for liking certain bands the other person doesn't like. And, I want friends that at the end of the day, they respect me and I respect them. That's a real friend, right? I just sat here for the last minute, just staring off into space, not knowing how to finish this, just like Molly in a recent video. So that's it. What else could I say to end this? I think it was John Heaton, the YouTuber and Facebook friend. He said recently, in a nice way, he said, "Oh, you're known as the 10 out of 10 guy," because I guess especially in the past when I was probably when I was rating each Beatles song, so many of them were 10 out of 10. But that's the way I am with music, right? If I love a song, I'm not that picky about a rating. Like if I truly love the song and I don't find anything wrong with it, it's a 10 out of 10 or a 5 out of 5. And music just means so much to me, and I know it means a lot to a lot of my viewers. And we're not all gonna like the same things though, and you need to understand that. I understand that. And, don't put down, try and not put down what you don't like. I joke about Guns N' Roses and all that and other bands, but, seriously, if you like Guns N' Roses and they make you happy, then good for you, or Nickelback or whatever. Music is music. It's to make people feel better, And so music is a gift. And that is it. Goodbye. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Remember to leave a comment below and thumbs up the video or thumbs it down. I don't care. And make sure you're subscribed to my 2 channels. Bye.